Hello again, I hope all of you are doing quite well. On this class, I want you to open your student book on page 63 on question number 5, grammar non-defining relative clauses. Choose the correct alternatives in the sentences based on the text on page 62. 1. Sudden disasters filled the atmosphere with smoke and dust, which blocked out the sun, causing the climate to become cold and dark. Here we use the relative pronoun which to refer to smoke and dust, and as we said before, we use who for people, which for things, and whose for position. Two. Several ice ages, when glaciers covered much of Earth's surface, have taken place. Here we use when to refer to several ice ages, which is time. Geologists who study Earth's formation and its rocks find out what happened in the past by looking at layers of rock. Here we use who as a relative pronoun to refer to geologists, which are people. 4. In the Antarctic, where plants and animals face a harsh cold environment, archaeologists have found evidence that this area was once much warmer. Here we use where to refer to the Antarctic, which is a place. Humans whose activities cause global warming need to take action. Here we use whose, since we are talking about a position, so humans whose activities cause global warming need to take action. This is a question based on the non-defining relative clauses, and as we said before, we use the non-defining relative clauses to give extra information, and please be aware to the use of comma. You could use 1 comma or 2 commas, depends on the context. So we can say sudden disasters filled the atmosphere with smoke and dust, causing the climate to become cold and dark. Also, several ice ages have taken place. Geologists find out what happened in the past by looking at layers of rock. In the Antarctic, archaeologists have found evidence that this area was once much warmer. Humans need to take action. According to these sentences, we could find them very grammatical and meaningful, which means the non-defining relative clauses just give an extra information. Now we will solve another question based on the non-defining relative clause. I want you to open your student book on page 65. I will start by reading the statements or the phrases on the yellow box. Who later on established the Royal Society for the Conservation of Nature, that used to be covered with plants, who both aim at turning the desert in Aqaba into an oasis, that to bring back the desert to life, which were full of trees in the past. As you can see here, we have the relative clause or the relative pronoun that. We use that to refer to which and who. It's like an alternative for which and who. But you need to be aware that using that make the statement less formal. I will start by reading this report and I will give you the answers. So, the most important thing here is not the specific information. We are dealing here with the grammar. I want you to focus on the non-defining relative clause. Through the years, Jordan has faced several environmental problems. One of these problems is the deforestation of areas that used to be covered with plants. These areas, which were full of trees in the past, have now become deserts. The loss of forested areas has put many animal species as well as the soil in danger. The decline of wildlife was first noticed by a group of hunters many years ago. who later on established the Royal Society for the Conservation of Nature, a non-governmental organization that carries out projects to protect the environment. The Jordanian government has also taken steps towards protecting the remaining forests and started projects that bring back the desert to life. One of these projects is the Sahara Forest Project, an agreement signed by Jordan and Norway, who both aim at turning the desert in Aqaba into an oasis. So, what I want you to know from this question is using who for people, that for people and things, but it make the statement less formal, which for things, and this is the most important. Again, to sum everything up, we have defining and non-defining relative clause, non-defining to give extra information, defining to give essential important information. In non-defining relative clause we could use 1 comma or 2 commas, while in defining relative clause you don't use any commas. I hope that you get all the benefit from this class. If you have any question, just ask me. See you soon, inshallah.